Hi everyone, how are you? This is Rizwan Maniya, your instructor for ACCA Performance Management. Welcome to the webinar series once again from our platform. And this is me again with PM webinar for the attempt this March 26. Okay. So let's begin, guys. I hope you all are with me and ready. Kindly confirm, is my voice clear, audible to all of you? Yes or no? Please confirm in the chat box. Right. Thank you very much for the confirmation. I hope everything is going good. Please need more and more confirmations. Is the sound, video, everything clear to all of you? Okay. So today we will be starting with performance management webinar. And this webinar will be targeting latest exam questions. Latest exam questions is what I'll be targeting in this webinar. The questions that now have been revealed by ACCA, it's a hybrid attempt once again, September and December 25. So we'll be targeting those questions, the latest ones, and obviously all those who didn't manage to pass in the previous two attempts, for them it will be a very, very realistic, relevant feedback that what went wrong for them. Plus, those who are giving for the first time, and I'll ask in a while as well, for them it will be a very good rehearsal how the latest exam questions came in the paper. So everyone, please be with me. These webinars again will be very useful. We'll be revising the topics, we'll be practicing, and all this I'm sure will be very, very useful for all of you. All right, then let's begin. First of all, I am into this teaching since last 18 years. In fact, not last 18 years, more than 18 years. Okay. My areas of expertise include PM, FM, and APM. I have taught more than 6,000 students, and in fact, much more than that now. I have conducted lots of webinars for ACCA. From VIFHE's platform, we conduct webinar every quarter for all the three papers that I teach. And when it comes to the positions, so till last September 25, there have been 63 plus positions in my papers, the papers that I teach. This time we are very much again hopeful and waiting for students to let us know the position that they have taken in these papers for December 25 attempt. So guys, if you want to be a next position holder, just follow the plans, just follow the techniques, just follow the guidance. What all I'll be giving you people in these two important free webinars. It's a very good opportunity. You're lucky that you are being able to access these free materials, and we will also be sharing other free materials with you. So these sessions are useful for you, and it will definitely change the game for you in examination. Okay. Now this is a list of position holders, the students who have taken PM positions in last 1 year. So these are the students who managed to secure position in performance management in last 1 year. Almost every quarter we have positions in this paper. So if you want to be the next one, just be ready to follow the plans. Okay. Now, how to remain connected with me during the webinar? Link. So there is a chat box where you just confirmed me uh, that you can hear my voice. This is the chat box you have to always access for any questions you want to ask in these webinars. Plus, if you want to connect with me later on, because I am also the principal here, so for any help, guidance, feedback, suggestion, you can contact me at this number and I will be more than happy to respond you and help you and solve your query. Now the important thing is the global PM groups we have. It's a global WhatsApp community where students from all around the world who are giving performance management, who have given before, who will give now, or a part of this global community that we have. So you can join these groups if you're not already part of. If you are already part of, the link has been shared by the admin. You can see the link that has been shared by the admin. Just click and join the groups. Okay. This group will be useful because all the latest things that I want to update, I'll update in these groups. All the webinar material, whatever I will share, whatever I'll teach in these days, the drafted answers, whatever work I'll do, I will share all those materials in these groups. Plus, I will be uh, giving you some important tips, and the revision in the last days will be also done in these groups. So make sure if you are not part of it, join this group. The link has been shared in the chat box. This is the most relevant for you now. So be part of this group for all relevant material. Those students who will watch in form of recordings, obviously, there is a big chunk who will watch in form of recording. For this group link, they can contact the support team at this number, the admission department at this number, and the admission department will provide them the group link if you are someone who is watching this in form of recordings, or you can, if you don't get it from there, then in second case you can contact me. So I'll be happy to share the links. All right. Let's look at the passing ratio. Last 9 attempts, just to understand the trend. And very surprisingly, in fact, not a very good news, I would say. If you look at the last 9 passing ratios till September 25, all were above 40%. December 25 was an attempt where the passing ratio went down. Not a very good sign, actually. It went to 40%, and in last 9 attempts, this was the lowest passing ratio ever. Okay. Personally speaking, I don't believe much in passing ratios, to be very honest. But yes, people do look at these passing ratios as an indicator whether they will be successful or not, right? But what I personally believe is that whatever the passing ratio is, you should be part of that percentage. Even if it is 5%, you, the one who are listening me right now or who will watch these later on, you as an individual has to try that you should be part of whatever the ratio is. And if everybody will try to be part of that passing ratio, whatever it is, the passing ratio automatically will go up. Simple rule. Okay. So, my friends, this should be the plan for you. This is how you need to take up the matters. December 25 was 40%, no issue. those who were not able to pass, these sessions will help them to reflect and make them better. They can learn the techniques, they can learn new ways of passing the exam, and I hope all these will be very useful for you. Okay. Now, I'll directly jump because I just went through the passing ratio. So I am very much interested in covering the reasons for failure that I have seen in the past, and when I interact with students, when I take their feedback. So one thing I want to tell you, please, please, I'm very honestly saying, mark my words, I'm teaching this more than 18 years. The paper is not difficult. The level of questions that are being tested are not difficult. Okay, if you say it's difficult, I buy your opinion, but remember, not all the questions, all the requirements are difficult. There will be a level of difficulty. There will be certain questions that are out of the box, maybe difficult to handle, maybe are very deadly in swinging Yorkers. If you are a cricket lover, you know what Yorker is. But you can block those. You can block those. Even if you didn't perform well in those questions, doesn't mean you will fail. You can still manage to pass because there are easy marks available in the exam. See, when I always say this, from here you need to be very strong. If it's a 100-mark question, you need 50 to pass. Your passing criteria is 50%, which means what you have to try, that you have to target the first easiest marks that can help you to pass. And when I say easiest, so I will say from very easy to a moderate level, attempt and graph 50 marks. Why is that we end up getting less than 50? Are we not prepared enough? Are we not capable enough to grab 50? We are. You are. There are certain things you need to work on. And I'll just skim through the reason for failures and you decide which one or maybe more than one are the problems in you. So let's start with the first one. Not understanding the question requirements. Verbs and objects not clear. Not clear. Very common problem that I've always highlighted, tried my best to overcome. This is one I see a lot in CRQs. And sometimes I feel in OTs, there are certain OTs where students are not understanding what the question is asking them to do. But mainly this pertains to CRQs. Verbs, objects are not clear to them. Like discuss, explain, justify it. They're not clear what these mean actually. Okay? So I'll tell you what needs to be done for that. Number two, very likely that if you are not understanding the problems, not understanding the question, there is a very highly likely chance that you will not answer to according to the requirement. Okay? So you need to first understand the question. If you understood the question, you are in a very good position to write accordingly. But at first place, if you didn't understood the question, so how will you be able to respond back? My friends, I'm very disappointed, and I always get disappointed when students message me, whether they are my students or not, that we are not able to pass the paper. There are issues that we cannot highlight. This is a very good comprehensive list. This is not a list that ChatGPT has made and I've pasted here. No, this list is basically the experience I have in dealing the problems I've seen. So you might be facing maybe 2, maybe 5, maybe 10, maybe one of these issues. Work on it. I'm not just coming up with the problems here. I will also come up with the solutions as well. And I'll tell you very often in these 2 days of webinar what tips and tricks needs to be taken into mind in order to handle the problem that I mentioned here. Third, as always, time management. Always, time management problem is always there. People are not able to complete their exam in the time frame. Despite 60 marks objective test questions you have, people struggle in solving the entire 100 marks. This is another problem of failure. Then selective study. You leave certain things on your own. You decide this will come, this might not come. It's all your decisions that you take. And you end up in a situation where you see something that you don't know. Lack of practice. There are certain students who are good in knowledge, who know what needs to be done, but because they are overconfident or you do not practice much, they end up failing it. Because in exam, see, it's not an answer that you know the concept or not only. In fact, it also includes that whether you will be able to solve the problem within the time frame or not. So time frame is very crucial that you must understand, that you need to take into account. Okay? Right. Now, this is a very, very specific PM problem I've seen. Mixed questions. What do you mean by mixed questions? I'll tell you. Mixed question means, and this is a very common problem I've seen in PM, where examiner has given you a question of one MTQ, for example, Section B. The scenario is given there. Period 1 information pertains to linear programming. Period 2 information pertains to single limiting factor. Maybe period 3 information might relate to throughput accounting. Maybe period 4 information relates to relevant costing or pricing. I've seen this. Students are not being able to ensure a proper transition from one requirement to the second requirement. They just read the first information and they just keep that in their mind. They ignore the change of information. For example, the first 2 MTQs required you to use period 1 information. The next MTQ required you to use period 2 information. So the transition is missing. So mixed questions are always part of PM. I've seen the most in skill paper, mixed question comes in PM, where examiner in CRQs may ask you something about variances and can switch to budgets. Are you ready for it? Are you ready to ensure that you understand each and everything? This is very crucial. Okay? So mixed questions, the more you practice these, the more you will be used to the transitions. This is another problem, brought forward knowledge. See, I never say that you revise your management accounting completely, but at least things that are connected, you should have the idea of those, like basic variances, like the concept of correlation, regression, time series, like ROI, RI, financial accounting, financial measures. So these are the topics, those that you have covered at the initial phase, not in very in-depth, but it doesn't mean examiner cannot use those topics. Yeah, it's a fact that examiner will not test you those topics for an entire 20 marks, but you may have to use those things. So I'm not saying again, revise your MA. I'm not saying this. Connected topics. You know variances coming from the previous studies. You know correlation, regression, time series again coming from your MA exam. I I'm shocked every time. Whenever examiner comes with a time series question or regression question, people are saying that they are struggling. Why? Have you done MA before? Haven't you passed MA before? So why are you always saying that, oh, this is a very difficult question? Yes, one problem I see, and that is you are struggling in understanding the transition for these topics from MCQs to CRQs. This is the problem I've seen a lot. See, what I'm mentioning are the core problems. I want to talk in relation to these problems. I need to address the problems. I teach webinars. I always teach webinars. I cover the content, but what is important? Are you learning from it? What issues you are facing is what I'm going to address here. So I'm taking my time here. These reason for failures are genuine problems. Work on those and see, you will see massive rewards. You will pass it, inshallah. So the problem, the transition from MCQ, MA paper to CRQ is creating a problem. One very good example I can give you. In the recent attempt, the question on time series came where they asked you to calculate the moving averages. People were like, oh, we never tested, we have never seen moving average in a CRQ question. However, my students and my exam portal does include sample questions that I knew that it may come anytime. So I did cover it properly. But the problem I see is students are like, we were not prepared for that. Why? Who told you, bhai, that this will not come? Who told you, my friend, this will not come? Who told you, my buddy, this will not come? Are you a magician? Are you a person who can forecast future? So please wake up, grow up, be more mature. How many pounds will you waste on this paper again and again? It hurts here if you are not passing the exam. I promise you. I promise you. I don't want repeat students to come back to us and pay the fees again. No. Pass it and go ahead. Even if we have less students, pass it. Then not good in all areas. Now what all areas are? Your My Exam Performance Report is one of the biggest source now to help you, guide you. And I'm very sorry to say, I do ask people to send me their My Exam Performance Report. And they ask me, sir, what is the lacking? I do tell them, if you want any help, you can send me. But again, when I see the report, the comments written in the report, any layman can understand those problems. It is so well drafted. It is so well explained. I'm very surprised. Are we not understanding the basic English at first place? I'm not saying I'll not help you. But that shows if we are not understanding what is written in the comments, how can we stand an exam scenario then? If you are not understanding your weaknesses, because you are the best person to know yourself, even your parents are not good at. So please, My Exam Performance Report has highlighted 4 problems in students. Application, you are not able to apply the information in the scenario. Knowledge, the concepts, the basics are not good. Narrative part, again, whether it is a CRQ theoretical question or Section A B OTs, where you have to understand the theory, and mainly it's CRQs, where to narrate the answer, and calculation. Generally, students are very good in calculations. I see very rare reports where calculation percentage is low. Mainly, they are struggling in narrative and application part. Narrative and application part. Most of my exam performance report I've seen. So read the report, understand the feedback about your own performance. Then, one more thing I will relate with my exam performance report, and that is this point. I've seen in the report that there are CRQ results. The lowest percentage people are able to hit or get is in performance measurement last question. Very low marks, very low marks, extremely low marks. So what it means? What is this sign? That marks are pretty much less. 37%, 47%, 29%. Why? This one question I've seen where students, those who fail, my exam performance report, 90% shows that the marks are low in this area. Are you not covering this in a better way? This is a flaw. Overcome it. Now, what I personally believe, that the low marks in this CRQ, the last one, could mainly be because your understanding of performance measurement is not good. Number one. Number two, because of lack of time, because you are in a hurry at the end, and then you quickly solve it and you are not giving that importance that you should give. So you have to figure out the problem, okay? Then people fail to grab easy numbers. Yes, yes, yes. Please put this in your head. There are easy marks. There are easy numbers. It's like arrow to the point. You grab easy numbers quickly. And I will, in these webinars, again, will try to highlight those. Then I have seen overcomplicating simple things. Lack of confidence. Negative mindset. PM is difficult. PM is difficult. PM is difficult. This friend said difficult. This friend said this is difficult. This friend is this. This friend saying this. This friend saying this. What are you doing here? What are you doing? Is it your friend who will decide will you pass PM or not? Don't overcomplicate things. It's manageable, doable. It is not difficult, honestly. The entire paper gives you sufficient chances to pass the paper. I'm not saying bring 100 out of 100, but I am strongly in favor of 50 out of 100. That's very much manageable. Smartly attempt the exam. Smartly attempt the paper. And I will again, in these webinars of 2 days, I will try my level best. I promise that I guide you in the best possible way. And that too without any money, without any charge. I do receive messages from students who just pass through webinars. So those who are taking the classes with me or from somewhere else, how can you not pass the exam if self-study student can take help from webinar and pass the paper? Confidence, simplification, right? So these are the problems. Just gauge, listen. Whenever you listen this recording or you are live in the session right now, think, pause here and think, which of these are my problems? And I need to work on these. Today is 3rd of February. I need to ensure I have sufficient time left to cover these things. In fact, 2nd February. So one more day now you have. Congratulations. Done? Very nice. Please, a quick feedback from you people. Let's engage you guys as well. How many are appearing in March 26 for the first time? Chat box. Chat box. Great. First timers. Great. First timers. Great. Okay. And please also, now those who are attempting for the second time, maybe third time, maybe fourth time, please mention here as well. Now the retakers actually. Okay. Okay. So the reattempt students. Now I can see a good balance here, but I think more are for the first time. And it's a good sign actually. First timers, please learn from the mistakes of others. The problem, the issues others have done in the past. Why repeat it? Why? No need to repeat, okay? Learn. Done. And those who were not able to pass previously, maybe it's their 7th attempt, maybe if it is their 10th attempt, my message to all of them is just forget all 10 attempts. I know it's not possible. I know I'm not getting realistic here. But again, let me speak. Forget about it. Consider this to be your first and last attempt. And put maximum effort, maximum energy, maximum motivation. Forget about the results that you received in the past. It's a fresh paper, and that is on 4th of March. And I am very much optimistic because that's my birthday this time, 4th of March. So I wish you best of luck, more blessings. Then on my birthday day, you pass the paper. Okay? Come on. Any advance birthday wishes, please? Now you can use emojis. You know, it's a Zoom world now. It's a tech world. Emojis to be spread all over my screens. Wow, that's great. Lovely. Great, great, great. Yeah, that's good one. I will accept all the presents and gifts. That's not a problem, okay? And the biggest present is that you pass PM. All right then, paper-wise structure. Guys, Section A, Section B, Section C. Everybody has a very good idea about these three sections. Section A will include 15 objective test questions. Section B will include 3 case style questions. Section C will include 2 constructed response questions. My friends, I will try my best to cover A, B, C all with dedicated tips I will be sharing with you for A, B, and C. But remember, a basic rule for now, the time management is important, and the general rule is 1.8 minutes you have per mark. 1.8 minutes per mark you have. So according to this, you have to plan it. Like if it is a 2-mark question, so 3.6 minutes for a single OT. If it is a 10-mark question, 18 minutes for an MTQ. If it's a 20-mark question, 36 minutes for one CRQ. That should be the timeline for you. That should be the criteria for you. Okay? Now, exam areas includes information technologies and system. This is one area very highly likely for Section A. Very highly likely. Advanced costing technique, very highly likely for Section B. One question. Performance measurement, very highly likely for Section C, one question. Okay. The rest, I think these two areas, either one question will come in CRQ and the other two might come in MTQs Section B. Okay. So you have to make sure you prepare yourself for the easy 50 marks, and one question you can expect from performance measurement, one from advanced costing technique, and few questions of information technology in Section A. Along with all these topics can obviously come in Section A. Okay, done. Next, as usual, webinar 20% knowledge based, 80% practice based. Okay, we'll focus on A's, B's and C's, and we'll be solving latest exam questions of September, December 25 first. Okay, done. Day wise plan, Section C, then B, then A in day 1. Similarly, C, B and A day 2. What I mean by Section C, B, A means the questions CRQ, MTQ, OTs, CRQ, MTQ, OTs. So the 2 days are completely free. Enjoy and make best of it. Then the revision camp. The revision camp of performance management batch will start from tomorrow after the webinar. I can say maybe Wednesday. This batch just a minute please. Let me just share the details with you regarding this batch. Just a minute, just a minute. Now the revision camp is a very good option for the students. So for all the skills papers, including performance management, we'll be starting a revision camp from tomorrow, and this revision camp will include pre-recorded content, and let me specify hot 20 to 30 topics. Video lectures will be available in this, which will not only include the video lectures, but also the exam related questions. So those will be ample for you to prepare yourself for the paper. Now, all self-study students, I will recommend this for you, that you guys should opt for this. You guys should get into this revision camp, which will give you the chance to cover the most hot topics for March 26 exam with not just knowledge-based videos, but a good amount of practice videos. On top of it, there will be 2 mocks that you can solve with us. One will be a complete live mock with proper marking of that mock will be done, and I will conduct a debrief session for that mock as well. In fact, for 2 mocks, I'll conduct the debrief session where I will solve those mocks for 100 marks. Followed by a grand revision at the end, where we'll be revising all the knowledge-based stuff that is important for performance management. Okay? So the self-study students, this is for you. This is for you. You can contact the admission department at this number, which is mentioned right at the end, and you can enroll yourself, as we are starting this from tomorrow. and get into this. So after the free webinars, you'll be in a very good position to cover the content my way. You will learn the way I want you to learn. And let's forget what has happened in the past. Let's focus now, present, and past it. So interested students can join. One important thing I need to mention, those students who are already paid in my regular batch might be listening this and the revision batch, those students are not required to enroll in this one. Reason, they already have everything available and I'm already working with them very closely what is important for them to be done in the last month. Okay. Now, a small plan of action will also be given to you guys who are part of the revision camp, and this is equally relevant for those who are already part of my paid batch in form of regular and reset one. So this is the plan that I'll be sharing with you people here. Those who will enroll in the revision camp, so their plan will be to start covering the pre-recorded content of top 20 to 25 areas, maybe from today, tomorrow, after the webinars, till 20th of February. Okay? You can cover at your own pace, but here I will guide people that you can focus on your weak areas. Areas in which you feel you are not very good at, you lacked last time, you can improve those areas first, cover the knowledge-based stuff from those areas, and practice those areas first. So the weaker areas, if you cover first, even if you don't cover the entire content, you still have achieved what is important from the revision camp. Okay? This portal will include, as I said, the recorded content, the practice sessions, compiled notes, theory drafting important documents, and one very personal thing that I share is my $1 million cheat sheet document that will make your life easier. Okay? Then those who are done with this live webinar that I am conducting today and will be conducted tomorrow, then you have to watch my December 25 webinar. Again, it's a free resource. Everybody can cover it from the VIFHE's YouTube channel, or the paid student will get it from their portal. And till 20th, your target should be to complete the pre-recorded content. In between, on 16th, we'll have a grand revision. It's a live session again. Okay. Followed by mock on 21st. Now, this is what I want you guys to ensure, that till 20th, at least cover the weaker areas, so that in mock, you are at least in a good position or attempted, and do not skip mock. Time-based practice is very crucial. So please note down the date. Today it's 2nd of Feb. And I'm asking you to be ready till 21st of Feb. You have ample amount of days, hours, minutes, and seconds. So don't waste it, please. Okay? We'll have a detailed debrief that is again live after the mock, followed by a complimentary mock and a complimentary debrief session. The result will be announced for the mock as well. And in the end, all self-revision and summary notes reading. So this is the plan you guys have to follow. The revision students I'm talking about. The regular and reset, please, we are working already very closely with you people. You know my guidance plans. Whatever is important, I'm already communicating with you. So please keep on using that planner for you. Done. So interested students, I've already mentioned, can contact the admission department at this number for enrollment details. Now, as we are very close to the start of the webinar from studies perspective, There are certain things I want to highlight and tell you initially is smart paper solving techniques. Street smart or book smart? What is your take on this one? I need you to reply in the chat box. Is it okay to be just book smart or just street smart? Hello? Both. So to be smart in both the areas, very less replies I just received here. I want people to be very good in interaction. The biggest advantage of live classes is the interaction. So please, I need quick responses. You need to be very alert, fast in replying me. So yes, both is important. But for that, you should know what street smart means. Smartly pass the paper. I'm saying the paper is not difficult. Yes, it is something that comes differently, but it is not difficult. You have to manage it properly, give due respect to the difficult areas, but make sure your friends are always there and the easy marks are there. So remember, there are easy marks in section A, B, C. Try to highlight your friends. They will not leave you. They will not disappoint you at all. And I will try again, as always I do, to highlight these easy marks. Now for CRQs, I just saw few comments here as well. Student did mention that we are not clear what examinable verb actually mean. Like how assess is different to explain. How state is different to explain. So this is a very good video available on VIFHE's YouTube channel. You can ask in the group as well. They will share the link with you people. This video is very informative, very useful. You will understand the key verbs very easily. Then there's another video available on VIFHE's YouTube channel by the name of Smart Paper Solving Technique. By the way, this is the name of the video and this is the name of this video, okay? Right? You can search. Smart Paper Solving Technique will teach you how to grab minimum 50 marks. And there is a very simple rule I have. Section A marks minimum to target are 16 marks. So it's a rule 16. Section B 18 marks. 16 plus 18 and 16 marks in CRQs to get 50. So it's a very simple rule. 16, 18, 16 rule to ensure you get 50. And I will again in these webinars, in these 2 days, I will highlight 16, 18 and 16 importance here. So the rule of 16, 18 and 16 is very crucial to understand. Now this is a very important video and this is the name of the video. Read the PM marker's mind. I have discussed in a very detailed way for CRQs what mindset your examiner follows. So you have to watch this video, again available on our channel, and this will give you the confidence that you can do it. If those students whose answers were average, they passed it, why not you? You are much better. Okay? And last, no question spotting, please. Don't leave topics until and unless it is very important to do it. So make sure you cover things. Self-study students, only self. My regular student, you already have e-notes and enough reading material on your portal with detailed notes, summaries and all. Only self-study students, you guys should note down the chapters minimum that you should read if you are doing self-study. You don't have anything available. So this is Study Hub content list. I want you people to read this topic, very important for Section A OTs. I want you to read planning and operational. This is also a very crucial one. I want you to go through transfer pricing area and performance measurement and divisional performance area. I want you to cover the reading perspective I'm talking about, budget systems and types of budgets. Okay. These are the areas where you can expect theory to come in the paper. Okay. And in this topic, you have EMA and sustainability areas. Okay. So these are bare minimum that you must read, not only read, but understand as well. The self-study students. Okay. Done. Today's topics: CVP analysis, target costing. We are all set now to begin with our knowledge-based stuff and the practice areas. I hope the first almost 1 hour has been very much useful and informative for all of you, especially the slide of major failures and the solutions to those. Now I will start discussing as I proceed with the questions. A quick feedback I want from you people, how everything is going so far. Are you really hopeful that these webinars will help you? Are you getting some positive vibes so far? Yes or no, please. If you don't like commenting in the chat box, emojis will also work well for me. So let's see in front of the screen how many good or bad emojis I'm able to see. Okay. You can even use thumbs down as well if you are not happy. Okay. Right. So let's begin, guys. Cost, volume, profit analysis. I've seen a lot examiner is testing this area. It seems to be one of the favorite areas these days as far as the exam is concerned. Fatima, you will get the recording of these webinars at our YouTube channel, of VIFHE's YouTube channel. It's a VIFHE, okay, not Wi-Fi. Many call it Wi-Fi. I don't know what's the reason, but anyways, it's VIFHE. So you'll get the recordings. But again, my recommendation, Fatma, would be that you should completely join and take live classes, okay? CVP analysis, one of the favorite areas of our examiner. He likes this area. He is testing a lot. He have tested a lot in the past. There are very good questions of CVP analysis that they have tested previously, like Elka Hotel Company, Health Nuts, very good question. So this is a latest attempt where they have again tested this question. I'll start with a recap of CVP analysis first. Cost, volume, profit analysis, a topic that focuses on 4 key concepts, that heavily focuses on 4 key concepts: CS ratio, break even, margin of safety, and target profit. A quick recap: what CS ratio indicates? How much is the contribution in relation to the selling price? Or how much is the contribution in relation to the total revenue of the business? The higher the CS ratio, the higher the contribution to sales ratio, the better it is for the company. the more quickly company will be able to reach break even. The point of no profit, no loss. Break even, a very common calculation. You can either work out in terms of units or in terms of revenue. So it's a very simple formula. I'm sure everybody has the idea of the formula. It's like fixed cost divided by contribution per unit or CS ratio, depending you need answer in units or the revenue. So break even is a point of no profit, no loss for a business. And the higher the CS ratio, the quicker the company will reach to its break even. Because the more contribution you're going to earn, the more quickly you're going to reach to no profit, no loss. Done? Margin of safety. Margin of safety. Now, what this indicates? This indicates actually the area of profit that the business is enjoying. Profit area. You can either work out in terms of units or the revenue or percentage of sales. And this information is very useful for any business person because this will indicate that how much fall in sales revenue is actually not risky for a business. Because if you determine an MOS of 56%, for example, or 60%, for example, so it indicates that 60% is the margin of safety or profit area, and any decline in the sales revenue by 60%, a 60% fall in the revenue directly hits your contribution and you will end up at break even. And God forbid, if the revenue decline is more than 60%, that is more than MOS, so you will end up in the area of loss. So it's a very crucial information as it indicates the risk involved as well before you end up at break even. Target profit, a good calculation, I would say. Any business decision maker wants to know that if we want to achieve our desired level of profit, so how many units should I sell to achieve that desired level of profit? How much revenue should I earn to achieve that desired level of profit? And that is known as target profit. So you just think of a profit figure, a one that you dreamed you want to achieve it, and then through the formula, it indicates how many units you need to sell in order to achieve it. Done. Now, you should be ready because there are formulas. You have to learn the formulas. Obviously, these are not available, like how to work out break even, MOS, target profit. So the formulas are available. The formulas are what you have to learn. But you need to understand the exam question can come for a single product. Okay, can come for a single product and may come for multiple products. In fact, I need to be very honest about it. Multi-product is more likely to come in your examination than a single product case. Okay. So multi-product, again, the company is selling more than one products in the market. Okay. And the company is selling more than one product, so company would be ready to uh, know that how many units should they solve in order to achieve a break even, what should they do, what should they not do, how many units are important to achieve the break even. And when it comes to multiple products, so for all these products you need to have a good number about it. So multi product is more likely in the paper. Maybe single can come, But multi-product is a bit more challenging because for multi-product, you need to understand the calculation of weighted average. So for this, everything will be weighted average base that you have to focus on. Okay. In a multi-product case, weighted average calculations are important. So when I say weighted average, what it means? You need to work out weighted average CS ratio. Once you have done this, through this CS ratio, you will work out weighted average break even. Through this, you will work out weighted average MOS. Through this, you will work out weighted average units to achieve target profits. Okay. So for multi products, be ready. Weighted average working is crucial. All right. Certain assumptions may come in the paper, and these assumptions sometimes can work as limitations of CVP as well. Limitations. So CVP assumes certain things that can work as limitations, as I already mentioned. That includes selling price, variable cost, fixed cost. It assumes remains constant, which practically is not possible. Variable costs can change due to bulk discount, due to bulk buying. Okay. Fixed costs may change. It may remain constant till certain level. It may step up after that, but it assumes no. Plus, you may discount the selling price to achieve higher volumes, but it assumes it will remain constant. And because it assumes selling price, variable cost to remain constant, that is why it assumes a linear revenue function and linear cost function, a straight line. You have seen the graphs, straight lines are there. Okay. Then it assumes the production and sales are same, which means whatever you produce, you sell it, there is no inventory at all. Okay. Then it assumes units are the only reason, or units is the only factor affecting cost. So it assumes that your cost is only being affected because of the change of units, like variable cost. The more the units you produce, the more will be the variable cost. And it says there'll be no other reason for variable cost to change other than the units, which is wrong, which is not correct. As I'm about to say, the next point is it ignores the effect of inflation. Yes, it says no, variable cost is changing because of units, but practically variable cost may change due to more taxation and inflation effects. It assumes that is not the case. Then it requires separation of cost into fixed and variable components, but sometimes it is not easy to separate it. It assumes the separation is very much possible, but frankly, honestly speaking, it is not always possible to separate this very easily. I can do through high-low method, I can do through regression, but that's all bookish stuff. You may face practical challenges. It ignores consideration of capital employed when considering product profitability. It is not something that compares that, okay, this is the profit over this much of investment. It ignores that. Then very important assumption that is very valid for multiple product situation, and it is that it assumes that the company, for example, is selling 3 products or 2 products. So it assumes that the mix through which it sells these products is known and will remain constant. Like for example, if I sell tea as my one product, and I sell green tea as my second product, and I sell coffee as my third product, so it will assume that the ratio, the mix with which I will sell tea, green tea and coffee will remain same. Like for example, 30% of my sales will be tea, 40% will be green tea, and 30% will be coffee. So it assumes that whenever I will sell it, the ratio of 30, 40 and 30, 30, 40 and 30 will not change. That is wrong. It may change. You may change the mix. In actual, the mix might change as people might require more coffee. The demand of coffee sharply increases in the actual market, and hence the mix may change. Maybe you might be selling 70% coffee and the remainder tea and green tea, but it assumes no. So because these are the assumptions on the basis of which you do the calcs, these can work as limitations of CP analysis as well. Drawbacks of CP analysis as well. You can write these as drawbacks as well. Okay. Graphs. Three types of graphs: break-even chart, contribution chart, profit volume chart. So a very simple diagram, break-even chart, will show you three lines. Number one, sales revenue line, okay, fixed cost line, okay, and total cost line. So this is the break-even, highlighted by break-even chart. Done? Break-even chart does not shows the variable cost line. It uses fixed cost line. So that is why we have another graph by the name of contribution chart, which again starts with sales revenue line, linear line, you can see straight lines, okay, these are linear, followed by a variable cost line, okay, and a total cost line. So you can't see fixed cost here, but again this is break even, point of no profit, no loss, okay. That's the difference. Then comes multi-product or a simple profit volume chart. So this is a profit volume chart which shows you a simple line of profit and loss. Okay. Now this line is one line, a profit volume average line, but in case of multi-product situation, we are not just dependent on this one line, which is the average line, okay? We also make another line which is known as highest CS ratio line. Now this line is like showing you exactly the performance of individual products, okay? Individual products, like for example, product A earned this much of contribution, product B earned this much of contribution, product C earned this much of contribution. So this multi-product profit volume chart shows you the average line. This is the average line. We can call this as weighted average line, and it may show you the individual line based on highest CS ratio. Yes, it will also show you two break-even points. One will be the average break-even, and this will be individual break-even points. All right. So these are the three graphs. The best thing from exam perspective is you are not required to make the graphs, as you cannot make the graphs on spreadsheet, but you must have a good clarity about the graphs. They may give you a graph and you might have to do interpretation from that graph. You should know the lines, what they mean, where is break even, where is margin of safety, for example, MOS, where is the fixed cost, variable cost, blah, 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 things you should know. Okay. So this was a good recap of CP analysis. It's now time to start with the first CRQ. Okay. And as we are approaching CRQ of a very latest attempt, there are certain tips I want to share with you people that should help you to handle CRQ in a much better way. So here are some good, very good tips for you people. First of all, for CRQ, find verbs and objects. Explain, discuss, justify. These are the verbs. So verbs you need to find out. And the objects, I can even call that as elements, which means which means which means what is the subject matter for which the verb has been used. So you have to identify. I will do the rehearsal. I'll show you while I read the questions, and look for extra requirements, because the word and in the question will give you clarity about the extra requirements. Why is this important? Is because verb tells you the action to perform. Explain is different to state. State is different to discuss. Okay. Plus, to grab complete marks, you need to understand all the requirements. All the requirements you need to understand in one question. One question will have 2 or 3 requirements, may have 2 verbs, 3 objects, may have 3 verbs, 3 objects. So to score completely in that area, you need to understand the marks, and to grab complete marks, make sure you answer each and every single requirement in that one particular question. Done. For theory drafting, which people are struggling a lot, make sure you write in multiple paragraphs with no bullets. Okay? And use headings if possible. I'll guide you on this as well as I move on in depth in CRQs. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, but I will cover that. Spreadsheet to your advantage. This is giving you a clear sign that spreadsheet is something that you should not be afraid of. Spreadsheet is something that you can use to your advantage. When I say to your advantage, what it means? Clearly, it will save your time. It will save your effort. It will help you. It will help you to avoid duplications. So I'll just show you while I move on. Remember, 36 minutes you have max for a CRQ. Okay. So now to achieve 36 minutes per question, always start with first easy CRQ. There are 2 CRQs. Skim the requirements. Skim the requirements and see the one that you think is more easy for you. Maybe you must be good in variances. Start with that. So once you start with your easier CRQ, what happens? It saves your time. And when it saves your time, you may end up consuming less than 36 minutes, which you can further shift to the other difficult CRQ. Okay? Remember, out of 40, you need to grab 20. Minimum 20. And there will be a equal split of theory and calculation in 40 marks. You can expect 40 marks. You can expect 20 marks calc here, and you can expect 20 mark calc and 20 mark theory. Okay? Clear? Right. So this is the split. I hope everything is clear. Certain tips are in front of you. Let's use and let's do the rehearsal. All right, guys. I hope this screen is visible to all of you. Let's move towards this very good CRQ. A basic rule of thumb that you need to understand while reading the CRQ. First, read the requirements, skim the requirements so that you get to know what needs to be done. And if possible, highlight verbs and objects so that you can break and get to know how many requirements are in one requirement. Calculate is the examinable verb. I'll highlight this. Contribution to sales ratio for each of the 3 models of washing machine. So CS ratio is what I need to work out. This is my object, this is my element. I can see the word and now appearing here, and this and is giving me clarity about the extra requirement, and that is overall weighted average CS ratio. Once I will read word weighted average, it will give me the clarity that it will give me the clarity that it's a case of multiple product. multiple products. So two things I need to work out. Note, show contribution sales ratio as decimal figures to 3 decimal places, and special instruction you cannot ignore. Okay, done. So it's a very simple 3-mark requirement that you need to answer. Let's move to the next requirement. Let's skim quickly through the requirements first. Next, calculate is the examinable verb. Calculate is the examinable verb. Next, what it says, margin of safety as a percentage for K company, and explain the implications of MOS percentage for the company. 5 marks. So let's highlight. Verb number 1, calculate. What to calculate? MOS as a percentage is the object. Then I can see the word and as my additional requirement. Then another verb, explain. Act according to the verbs, please. Explain. Okay. Another verb, explain. The implications. The element, the object is implication of MOS. What is the implication of MOS for the company? Right? Okay. Show margin of safety to 1 decimal places for 5 marks. This is a more valuable requirement in terms of marks. Then, based on the current selling prices, another verb is to calculate what? Sales revenue required for the company to achieve target profit. Okay, fine. This is the object. And another requirement, I can see every question has 2 requirements. Discuss is the verb. Marks are very less. Feasibility of this profit target. Discuss the feasibility of this profit target. Okay, 4 marks. Then I see another requirement. Explain, another verb. Implications of increasing sales volume of the jumbo on overall weighted average CS ratio. Wow. And another requirement, CVP analysis you have performed for the K company. Okay. Done. 2 requirements again. Not done yet. Next, discuss, another verb. 2 limitations of CVP analysis. Limitations, okay, for planning and decision making. Halas. So 4 mark for theory, last part. Again 4 mark theory, 8 marks. A mix of theory and calculation, maybe 2 marks theory. Again a mixture of calculation and theory. Again I might say 2 marks theory, minimum 3 marks. So 12 to 13 marks theory, and the rest is calculation. So very less amount of calculation is there. Plus a question like this may waste time for the students because the marks are pretty less and the work to perform is too much. So you need to be fast. Okay, you need to be fast in the examination. So let's start with the first requirement without any further time wastage. Okay. As for the first part, they asked me to work out CS ratio for 3 products and overall. So I have to read the scenario. K company manufacture and sell washing machines. The company makes 3 different models of washing machine. 2 for household, workhorse, pristine, and industrial use jumbo. So W, P, and J is what I'll be calling them now. You can see the details of W, P, and J here, which includes selling price, variable cost, and overhead allocation. For overhead allocation, it says is an allocation of fixed cost. Okay, it's a fixed cost allocation based on expected amount of direct labor hours required to make each machine. Annual fixed costs for the current year 20X9 are expected to be 1357. That's the total. The number of washing machine expected to be manufactured and sold in 20X9 are given to you. So these are the units that are available to you here. All right. The expected mix of sales is based on the mix of actual sales from 20X8, which has been maintained in the early part of 20X9, which in short means this mix will be the expected mix. This is the expected mix, okay? Because that is dependent on 8 and 9 hasn't changed. Now, information like these, students, get confused or they miss out such information in the paper and they end up doing something wrong. So from exam perspective, listen, I am literally telling you the key thing. Read the scenario openly, broad-minded, and understand each and everything. You need to spend some time on reading the scenario. The Chief Executive Officer has recently joined KCO, has been discussing possible opportunities for growth and has set an annual target profit. This is a target profit of 200,000 for the next year. The CEO has been discussing his plans with the other directors, and the following are the extract from recent meetings. Operations Director. The production line is currently operating at around 80% of the capacity. Okay, but I see little point making more machines if we cannot sell them. Make sense? Okay, if you're already operating at 80% capacity, but I see little point making more machines if you can't sell them. Correct? Done. So selling is important. Marketing Director. The market for washing machine is fairly mature now, and there is little opportunity for the growth in the market as a whole. Okay. Competition in the household segment is particularly tough. Okay. Highlight these information. Okay. So it's a mature market, little opportunity for growth. Competition is there also. Competition in household segment is particularly tough. So high competitive market. But the hospitality industry is showing some growth, which is the industrial one. Yeah. Of jumbo. So you can increase the sales of jumbo by selling to restaurant and hotels. Done. However, we may need to lower the price to see the significant increase in the sale volume. So we need to reduce the price in order to achieve this. Okay, everyone? Clear? Done. Now, the first requirement is what we are about to start. But I think let's take a short break for 10 minutes, not more than that. After the break, we will directly start the solution. So let's take a break for 10 minutes. I hope your first half has ended and it was useful. A quick feedback before I give you the break. Was the first half good enough, guys? Excited? Looking good? Yes or no, please? Emojis. That's the way. That's the way. That's my way of answering. Okay? Thank you very much. Let's join after 10 minutes and start the solution. See you then. See you in 10 minutes time. All right, guys. So let's begin after the break, and it's time to start the question then. Now, if you see here, it's the part 1 I'm solving right now. There are 3 products. First is W. Okay, I'll call this as W. Then we have P. Then we have J. All right. So it's W, P, and J. Now, starting from the first one is selling price We have selling price of 400, 600 and 1250. Then it's the variable cost, that is negative 170, negative 230, negative 580. Okay, done. Then selling price, variable cost, contribution per unit, I can work out. Fixed cost, I am not interested. You know why? Because that is something that will not come in short term perspective. Control C is the copy, okay, and V is paste. If it's not working on the day of exam, so you can use your mouse and just click right, copy, paste, okay. Now, after this, you have expected, because we need to work out individual CS ratio and weighted average as well. So the units are also here. Units are also here. First, we have 2000, then it's 1200, then we have 800. So I can multiply and calculate the total contribution. I hope you all are following me, guys. Okay, total contribution, this multiplied by this. Okay, now this is the total contribution figure you have. Okay, here you go. Total. So I'll add these two together, these three together. That will give me total contribution. Done, guys? Clear? Okay, done. Now, the way I'm solving will give me advantage in getting the answers of both the individual CS ratios of each product and the weighted average is what it will help me to work out as well. Okay, so now the revenue units are available. I know the price. So this is the price. Similarly, this is the price. Done. So it's better to use the method that I've done. Reason being, it will allow me to handle multiple things in one go. If I can just somehow show you what I've done in one frame, so it will make more sense to you now. So I have the total revenue here. Okay. Okay, guys. So you can see this option that I selected here. If you're not aware of this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's the 10th option that I have selected here. What this will do, I think 9th will also be workable. I don't need red here. That's fine. And I need this to be rounded off to all decimal places. Okay, done. Guys, are you with me? Now, it's turn to work out CS ratio. So, contribution divided by revenue for product A. Copy, Control C, paste, paste, and the weighted average answer is also here. Okay? And the weighted average answer is also here. Are you with me, everyone? Done. Are we clear? So, you have done the calculations of CS ratio. What you can do, you have to select this all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In ninth option, the red mark will not be there when it comes to the negative figure. In 10th, there will be a red mark as well. So I don't need that. And also it is showing me in 2 decimals. So I think let's select the 11th one. You can see it will round off all the figures completely. So again counting here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th, 11th option I'm selecting now, which will round off the figures as well if there are any decimals in my calcs. So you can see neat and clean now. Okay, here you go. Done, everyone? Are we clear? Yes or no? Right? Any questions? If you have, you can ask. You can ask if you have any questions. Okay? So we are done with this first requirement, I guess. Okay. So 3 decimals. They want you to present the answers to that 0.617. And here it's 0.751. So you have this in form of 3 decimals. Okay? Done. Clear, everyone? CS ratios is what you have calculated in the first part. Now, 3 decimal places, and I hope no problem as far as the calcs are concerned. Clear, everyone? If this is clear, let's move to the next requirement. You have seen I worked out selling price, variable cost, contribution, straightforward working I've done here. I did work out total figures so that I can even work out the CS ratio, weighted average. That will save my time. Are you with me? Say yes or no. Okay, done. Next, Calculate MOS as a percentage for K company and then explain the implications. So first, let's work out and then we'll see at the implications. MOS, margin of safety. How do we work out margin of safety as a percentage of sales? So for MOS, what I need, my friends? For MOS, I need few things. First of all, I need break even. Okay, I need break even. So break even, I need to work out. I have already worked out the CS ratio earlier. So what I need here is fixed cost. Okay, so the fixed cost is how much? Here you go, 1375000. 1375000 divided by, let's go to the previous one, 0.571. I hope this is visible to all of you. 0.751. This is my weighted average. You have to take weighted average. Why? Why? Because the question in the next part mentioned for K company, K Co, for K company. Okay, so that is why it is the weighted average that you will use, because you are calculating this for the entire company. So 0.751. Once I will use this CS ratio, I will work out break even in terms of revenue, in terms of dollars. Okay, done. So I can, because the question says MOS answered needs to be rounded off to 1 decimal. So any working that I'm doing prior to that, I can round it off then. Okay, done. Now margin of safety in terms of percentage, we need to work out, right? So what to do? MOS in percentage. Guys, do you know the formula? The formula is sales revenue. Now, you were very wise in the first part. You did work out the revenue as well. So, we have the entire revenue of 2.5 million. See here, 2.5 million, 2520000. So, 2520000 minus the break-even revenue. Here you go. The break-even revenue, okay, divided by 2520000. Are you with me, everyone? So total revenue minus break-even revenue divide by total revenue, and to 1 decimal place they are asking me to calculate the answer, that too in a percentage if I want to. So here I have the option of 1 decimal place in percentage form, and it's 4.4. Okay, clear? Done? Very simple. See, the marks are easier. When I say easy numbers, so it's a 20-mark question. To pass a 20-mark question, 10 needs to be done first. 10 needs to be targeted first. To get those 10 first, the first part was a peanut of 3 marks. The next part, this may give you 2 marks minimum. So 5 marks are done through calculation. 5 marks are done through calculation. Just make things simple and easier for you. Understand this, my friends. 20 marks. Don't target 20 out of 20. First target 10 out of 20. And in targeting 10 out of 20, first target the easy numbers. Halas. Now, theory. Now the theory, implication. Now the theory. What is MOS? What is MOS? Implication of MOS for the K company. Come on. Margin of safety for K company will indicate what? Margin of safety will indicate K company. Will indicate K company the risk. How? It will indicate by how much percentage. See, this is a question where you have to apply your knowledge. Application. This percentage will indicate by how much percentage the sales will go down and the company will reach at break even. And a more increase in this percentage means you end up in loss. Okay? Done? So it indicates the risk for the company. Now, let's write it. Application requirement. See, this question requires you to apply the knowledge for K company. So you cannot just write the definition and expect the marks. No, application is important. This is an application-based question. It's not a knowledge-based question where you're writing the definition and getting away. So see here, margin of safety will indicate K company that a fall in revenue by 4.4% will bring the company to a break even situation. And any further reduction will result in loss for the company. Okay. Now, is it enough? No. Application. This has an implication. My friends, till now you are good. From here, you are bad in writing the answer. The company is working in an environment. Just a minute, please. Sorry. Now, company is working in an environment where competition is high. Competition is high. It's a mature market. And high competition means anytime your sales can go down. Anytime your sales can go down. And the margin that you are left with is just 4.4. This is a very low margin of safety. Working or operating in a competitive environment like K company is doing right now, there are chances or it is vulnerable to fall in sales. And this means the situation it is working in is a risky situation. Okay? So, the CEO was correct in finding out the growth options. Because if they will not grow, they will end up in a loss. I hope you all are understanding what I'm trying to explain here, what to write. Okay? So let's write further. This margin of safety is smaller one and indicates more risk to the company as it operates in a very competitive business environment where there is intense competition. So any reduction, or I can say so, just 4.4% reduction in revenue will bring entire business to break even. CEO was correct to look for growth opportunities. Okay? Done? Done. My friends, this is a lacking which you have to learn. Your answer should be according to the requirement. The element is implication for K company. So what is that? A low margin of safety is risky for the business, and hence they really need to work on it, because a small fall will affect them badly. Awesome. This is application based answer. I hope you are listening me, you are learning. This is one area you guys need to improve massively. Done? And it's not out of the box. It is not something you cannot write. You can. Just the right approach. Understand. Vigilancy. Open-minded. Stress-free environment on the day of exam, and you can do it. Halas. Done. Next. Calculation. Sales revenue required. Okay? To achieve the target profit. Okay. Let's calculate first, and then we'll discuss part C. Sales revenue required to achieve the target profit. Fixed cost is first I will cover. You know the formulas: 1375000 plus what is the dream? 200,000. Here is the dream. Okay, 200,000 divided by CS ratio calcs already done. Already done. 0.571. So what answer are we getting? Let's calculate it, my friends. 1375,000 plus 200,000 divided by 0.571. Answer is 2758319 if I round it off, because there is no instruction given. So I'll round it off completely. Okay. So it's 2758319. Alas. That's the dollar revenue. That's the dollar revenue. Correct, everyone? That's the dollar revenue. I hope this is clear to all of you. Okay? That's the dollar revenue. You have. Now, once done with the calculation, the next is discuss. It's a high level verb. Discuss the feasibility of this profit. Okay. See, you calculate the numbers to use those numbers, not to do anything else. So we have to use the numbers now. Okay. Now, guys, is it now? Okay, discuss is the verb. What to discuss? Feasibility. What is feasibility? Is it possible for us to achieve this profit target? Discuss, is it doable or not doable? When you always say feasibility, so it means is it doable or not doable? Okay. So viability, let's work out. Okay. First of all, let's compare this with current revenue, which is, I think the current revenue is something we did work out earlier, and that was 2520000. Okay, dollar 2520000. All right. Okay, which means increase in revenue required will be 2758319 minus 2520000 divided by 2520000. Okay, so the percentage change is 9.5%. Okay, now you need to increase the revenue by 9.5% to achieve this. Feasibility, viability. Can I increase the revenue by 9.5%? That's the question to answer. Can I? Is it doable? What we need to discuss. So let's see. K company needs to increase the revenue by 9.5%. It's not compulsory to calculate the percentage, to be honest. You can even compare the numbers, but always remember, the more ratio-based work you do, the more percentage-based work you show, it is better to understand. So the company needs to increase the revenue by 9.5% in order to achieve the target profit. The question is whether company can achieve this or not. There are two things to consider. First, the capacity, and then the competition. So, the company is operating at 80% capacity, means it is possible to increase as there is spare capacity available to achieve this. Production is not a problem. We are operating at 80% capacity, we can increase it. But the problem is, that is what the operation director was saying. But the problem is, can we sell this or not? Okay. More demand. Already it's an intense competition going on. So it's challenging to achieve this. I will change the paragraph because I'm now changing the point. However, the more challenging part is the demand creation, as already there is intense competition. Okay. And K company needs to work harder to achieve an increase in sales by 9.5%. Discuss positives, negatives, positives, negatives. Learn the meaning of the verb. You will not fail this paper, I promise. Give this paper due respect. Learn in the way it should be learned, and you will pass. Got it? Understood? Clear? Yes or no? Okay. Well received. Good. Khalas. Done. This is challenging. I have discussed the possibility. In terms of capacity, I can achieve it. In terms of demand creation, I'll feel the challenge here. Khalas. Done with 4 marks. Now, requirement number 2. C part 2. Okay, what's that? Explain is the verb. Implication of increasing sales volume of jumbo on overall WAC. What effect the sale volume increase will have on the CS ratio of the company? And CVP analysis you have already performed for the company. So try to understand the question. You guys are weak in theory, in understanding English. Explain what impact, what effect the increase in sales volume of jumbo will have on WAC. Sorry, not WAC. We will have a CS ratio first. First, let's target this requirement. Okay? Let's target this requirement. And then I'll come to the next one. Now, understand. what is the strategy they are adopting? They are like, let's increase the sales of jumbo. This will be achieved by lowering the price of jumbo. There is a gap in the market left, and increase the volume. Okay, fine, done. Now, my friends, the thing that you need to understand is, first of all, what impact this will have on weighted average CS ratio. This question is testing your understanding of weighted average CS ratio. This question is understanding how good you are in terms of the impact of individual CS ratios on overall ratio. Just compare these three. The CS ratio of W is 57.5%. Okay. For the second one, it's 61.7%. For third one, it's 53.6%. Now tell me, which product CS ratio is the lowest one? Come on, tell me. Lowest one. That is jumbo. Jumbo has the lowest CS ratio. Now understand, if you try to increase the sales of jumbo, if you try to increase the CS ratio of a product, sorry, I beg your pardon, if you try to increase the sales of a product that has the lowest CS ratio, this means this will further reduce the overall weighted average CS ratio. Yeah. A very simple example I always give. For example, and you can compare like this. Just see, the overall ratio is 0.571. Okay. Listen. Compare these two. Is the average greater than the jumbo CS ratio? Say yes or no. My question is simple. Is average less than the jumbo CS ratio? Yes. So if average is, I said it wrong. If average is more than the jumbo CS ratio, yes. So if jumbo CS ratio is lower than the average, if jumbo CS ratio is lower than the average, any increase in jumbo means the overall average will go down. It's like 13 papers of ACCA you have given and your average score is 60%. The 14th paper if you gave and the marks of that 14th paper are 55%. The 13 papers average was 60. The 14th paper marks are 55%. Even though you passed the paper, but the overall average will be more than 60 or will get below 60. The answer is, tell me, the overall average will, tell me, will go less than 60. Will go less than 60. Understood? The overall average will go less than 60. Got it? Because the last paper score is less than the overall average. So, jumbo CS ratio is less than the average. Any increase in jumbo sales means you are increasing the sales of a product that has a lower contribution. So, it will reduce the overall average. Very nice. It will reduce the overall average. Okay. So let's write this. Okay. The jumbo CS ratio is lowest of all the products. Okay. And any attempt to increase the sales of jumbo will mean that the overall CS ratio, overall or weighted average? Weighted average CS ratio will reduce. Okay, done. Now, one more thing that is important to understand. The current CS ratio is less than the average and the other products. How are you trying to increase the sales? By reducing the price, of jumbo. So remember, a reduction in the selling price of jumbo will further reduce its CS ratio. Oh, oh my friends, what is happening? Currently it is less than the others. To increase the sales, you are further reducing the price. Any reduction in the price further will reduce the CS ratio. Okay? Further will reduce the CS ratio. But the sales will go up. Obviously, the volume will go up, and that volume increase should be at least more than 9.5 to achieve this profit growth of 200,000. Okay. So let's write here. Also, if the jumbo price is further reduced to increase the volume, okay, so this will further reduce its CS ratio, right? CS ratio, and hence the weighted average CS ratio. Okay, done? Clear? Are you with me? Now, one more impact. Oh, if weighted average CS ratio goes down, now a simple maths. See, this is the formula of break even, fixed cost divided by CS ratio. Say yes or no. Okay. If this denominator, if this denominator reduces further, if the denominator reduces further, just to check this, okay? Right now, the revenue of break-even is 2.4. If, for example, I change the denominator and reduce this to 0.4, for example, okay, see what will happen. The break-even will increase. Oh, the break-even will increase, which means any reduction, and I hope you did understood the impact on MOS also. MOSC, CMOS, CMOS. So, any reduction in average CS ratio means break even will increase. You need to earn this much of revenue to cover the fixed cost. So, your break even will increase. And break even increase means margin of safety. Margin of safety would also go down, will shrink. Margin of safety will also go down. Currently it is 4.4. Then it might be 2, 3%, 2%, 1%. So margin of safety will get affected, which is already so much low. Okay? Clear? So my friends, let's write all this. Any reduction in CS ratio will increase the break-even sales revenue and will affect margin of safety adversely, which already is very risky for the business. Okay? Done? Clear? Okay. They said implication on the CVP that you have performed. So the CVP that I have performed, I'm also mentioning the implication on that as well. Right? One more thing that I've done the working before was the target profit achievement. They are saying that we want to achieve a target of 200,000. Now understand this as well. To achieve a target profit of 200,000 in this case, okay? So remember, you are reducing the price of jumbo. You are reducing the price of jumbo. So this means you need a good boost in sales volume. This sales volume increase should be a good increase. Okay? So that you can achieve this 200,000 profit. Right? So how much revenue increase you need? 9.5%. Okay? In order to achieve target profit of 200,000, it is clear that this initiative should increase the profit by more than 9.5%. Okay, done. So whatever you are doing, reduction in the price of jumbo, in return expecting to increase the volume. So all this should increase the revenue by 9.5% in order to ensure you achieve this 200,000 target as well. Okay, done. I hope this is clear. First, I did mention the impact of this on weighted average CS ratio up till here. After that, I did mention the impact of this reduction in CS ratio on break even, on MOS and target profit. So the first part of the answer was to show the impact on CS ratio. The next part was to show the impact on CVP. So you have seen here, once I changed the paragraph, this first part catered the impact on CS ratio. The next part catered the impact on the rest of CVP analysis. Come on, guys, say something. This is an application-based question. In this entire question, I haven't seen so far anything other than application. All had to be linked with the scenario. That's it. So the calculation marks were easier at the start. Approximately, I don't know, 4 or 5 or 6 marks. Okay? Done. Done. Next. Discuss the last line about target profit is a very simple line. As they mentioned earlier, they wanted to achieve a profit of 200,000 desired profit. For that, I mentioned the revenue increase should be 9.5%. So what I was mentioning at the end is, whatever we are doing with jumbo to increase the revenue should increase by 9.5% minimum, okay, in order to achieve this target profit as well. So if you are reducing the price of jumbo to increase the volume, so that overall impact should increase the revenue by 9.5% for the business so that they can achieve the target profit. This is what I mentioned at the end. All right. Now, discuss the two limitations for CP analysis. This question is simple knowledge based. Simple bookish point, 4 marks, 2 limitations, 2 marks each. Following are the 2 limitations of CVP analysis. You can write any 2. The CVP analysis assumes constant mix of the products, okay, which may not be the case in reality, as the products mix may vary, okay, due to market conditions, right? And this will affect the break even and MOS as well. Done. Okay. Number 2, it assumes fixed cost to remain constant okay. However, the fixed cost may change due to step up okay. So this may not be constant. Done. Clear everyone? Plus you can write what all we produce, we'll sell it. This is also the assumption which might not be the case. Clear everyone? Done. So I think that's very much simple. You can even write about inventory. No inventory there. You can even write variable cost, selling price to be constant. So this is a very simple knowledge based stuff that you guys can handle. I hope no problem as far as this is concerned. Okay. Yeah. Uh, Obviously, you may increase this by writing like this incremental fixed cost needs to be considered for calculating break even figures, right? Any change I'm talking about, if due to the activity change, if there is a change, so then in that case you need to consider that. Okay, clear? Done everyone? So yeah, this is all what you need to take into account. The two limitations, you need to discuss the limitation on planning and decision making. So I again and again mentioning that the impact of this could go to break even, margin of safety, because of these very strict limitations it has. Done guys, khalas. Okay, now we are done with this question. I hope this was the easiest part in terms of theory. The easier calculations you also saw earlier. All if you mix up, you can handle it in exam. You can at least grab the easy numbers for sure. For sure. 10 out of 20 minimum you can grab it. This part, the few easy calculations, you can manage it. Khalas. Done. I hope this is clear to all of you. Now, target costing. Target costing is a cost reduction technique which we use at the design phase. So, in case of target costing, we determine the market price first, then the desired profit, then we calculate the target cost, then the current estimated cost and cost gap. So, in case of target costing, remember MDTC square. Market price, desired profit, target cost, current estimated cost and cost gap is what we determine. All this is done at the design phase in order to reduce the cost gap. So once you determine a cost gap, now MDTC square is the mnemonic, okay? So I always write it MDTC square. It's easy to learn. Now, how can you reduce the cost gap? Cheaper material, but without affecting quality. Cheaper labor without compromising on quality. You can use ABC technique to reduce the overheads. You can move from labor to machine intensive environment in order to, tell me, in order to become more efficient, more better and reduce the cost. Yeah. You can benefit from economies of scale. Economies of scale. Why? To reduce the cost. Bulk buying. Bulk buying. More discount, cost will go down. And performing value analysis, which means focus on value adding things and ignoring non-value adding items. Once you ignore the non-value adding items, what you do? You save the cost. Okay? So target costing is a cost reduction technique applied at the design and the planning phase. Okay? Now, let's move towards Section B question. It's now time for first MTQ. Certain key tips for you people. Actively read the scenario. See, in MTQ, there is a scenario followed by 5 OTs. You can't ignore the scenario. These are not Section A isolated OTs. You have to read the scenario. Fill in the blanks. Please, rounding of instructions. Please, this is one area, my friends, you are losing the marks in OTs. Learn the skill. Learn what is 2 decimal, 3 decimal means. Complete in 18 minutes. Now, how can you do this? First, start with the MTQ, which is the most easiest one. There are 3 MTQ case studies. Any topic you are good at, like variance, budgets, you can see, you can figure out those in the paper. Start with those first. That will take you less time. You may even do those below 18 minutes. You may solve this within 18 minutes, maybe 17, maybe 16 minutes. Okay? Now, once you start one MTQ, once you've started the MTQ, remember, in every MTQ, at least 2 easy OTs are there. 2 easy OTs are there. To pass a single MTQ, you need 6 marks out of 10. Okay? You need 6 marks. 6 marks out of 10. So for 6 marks, 3 OTs is what you need to ensure should be the correct one per MTQ. So start with easy OTs first. 2 will be the easy ones. Grab easy 4 marks first. Okay? Grab easy 4 marks. In a single MTQ scenario, there are 5. 2 will be the easy ones. Sequence is not the matter here. You can start with the last 2 if those are the easy ones. Grab 4 marks. You just need 1 more OT to be corrected. You will get 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. So 6 out of 10 in one scenario, 6 out of 10 in second scenario, 6 out of 10 in third, means 18 marks out of 30. 18 marks out of 30. Khalas. So the message is, start with easy case study first. In that easy case study, start with the easy OTs first. Try to grab 6 marks first out of 10. At least ensure just pass. Done? Clear? Please do the rehearsal. Use these techniques while you practice now, and you will see a massive change in your perspective and mindset. Massive change. Are you with me, everyone? Okay, let's move towards the second question. All right, guys. So here we are at a very latest MTQ, and let's begin. Right, let's begin. Section B, scenario reading is crucial. Read the scenario, act accordingly. Read the scenario, act accordingly. The company is launching a new printer called Zone. It has invested 300,000 for the development and launch of Zone. The expected demand is 500 units in the current year. And every number you see highlighted, okay? And selling price is 500 per unit. Invested 300,000. The target profit is higher. The target profit is the higher. Now, this is English that people don't understand. The target profit is the higher of between 25% markup and 20% of investment per unit. The target profit is what? Is the higher of 25% profit markup and 20% of investment per unit. Means your target profit will either be 25% markup or investment 20%, whatever is higher. If you didn't understood this point, you will struggle. So the following information relates to Z zone printer. This is the zone printer. Okay. The amount of plastic required for each zone is before allowing for normal loss of 20% of the plastic used. Okay. Z1 cartridge. The company has also developed a new printer called Z1, which will be compatible with the zone printer. The company wishes to make profit margin of 25% on Z1. Now that's a different product, okay, which has a selling price of 110 per cartridge. The company is known for durability of its printer cartridges and wants to ensure Z1 is also long lasting. Done. So details are here for Z1. After sales service. Following feedback from customers, the company is planning to start a dedicated department to provide after sales service to its customers. Okay. It plans to use target costing for setting up its department. Okay. Which of the following types of control is target costing an example of? Now it's an easy question. This should not take 3.6 minutes normal time. Come on guys, target costing is an example of positive feedback, negative feedback, double loop feedback, or feed forward control. Target costing is an example of feed forward control. What is feed forward control? Before anything actually happens, try to control it. If you think like in the future the variance will be adverse, take actions today. This is what target costing does. At the planning phase, initial phase, it tries to reduce the cost gap by estimating the current estimated cost and comparing it with target cost. It's a best example of feed forward control. Before anything happens, try to control it earlier. Done. Easy, easy. Done in few seconds. Now you can spend more time to the difficult ones. Okay, what is the target cost per zone printer in the current year to the nearest whole dollar? Make sure you follow this instruction. It's a fill in the blank question. They are asking you for zone printer. So just confine yourself to zone printer only. Okay. What is the requirement? Calculate target cost. Okay, let's do it. On rough sheet, we'll do this. Okay. Now, how to work out target cost? Formula is market price minus desired profit is equals to target cost. Okay. Do we have a market price available here? Yes or no? Yes, we do have the market price. How much? The market price is 500. Here you go. 500. Okay. Desired profit. How to work out? The question mentioned. Remember, the target profit is higher of. Now, it's not written higher of, but it's English, okay? Target profit is the higher of 25% profit markup or 20% of investment per unit. And to be very honest, these are the two ways you can work out desired profit. The first is 25% markup. Okay. Do we know the cost? No need to know the cost. Do you know the selling price? Yes. So if 25% markup means in markup cost is assumed to be 100%. And if the profit is 25% on cost, means selling price will be 125%. Clear? Yes? Come on. So if the selling price is 500, which is 125%, and I want to go to 25%, so divide by 125 into 25 will give you a profit markup of 100 per unit. Okay? 100 per unit. Clear? Clear, everyone? Okay. Versus 20% on investment per unit. Let's work out. How much is the investment? 300,000. Okay? 20%. How many units are you making? 500 units. Demand is for 500 units. 500. So how much is the profit? 120 per unit. 120 per unit. Okay? Now the higher of is 100 or 120? 120. Okay? So we'll select 120 as the higher of figure. We'll select 120 as the higher of figure. Can you work out the target cost now? Yes, we can. Just hold on, please. Yeah. Okay. So the higher of figure in this case is 120. And let's work out then the target cost. 120 minus 500 will give you 380 to be your target cost. So this question was a one where you were required to compare this option with this option. Understood? It's manageable, yaar. It's manageable. Come on, read the question. That's it. The problem is that we don't read the question and we suffer. Okay? Clear? Okay. Next. What is the maximum rate per gram of ink which company can pay to avoid a cost gap for Z1 cartridge? Another question for Z1 cartridge. Another question overall. So now what I can do in paper? I can solve the easy OTs first. I can go and try if things are easier. So let's try this theory one. This can save my time. That's what I'm trying to teach you. Which two of the following activities should the company undertake to close the cost gap of Z1 cartridge? Now, it has nothing to do with previous requirement. You can jump, you can save time, you can at least grab the passing marks. Learn this. Smart technique. Okay. Increase the selling price of the cartridge in the market. Increase the selling price of cartridge in the market. Is this an acceptable option? C. Yes, guys. So you can see here, the price is 110. Okay. And the company is known for its durability and wants to ensure Z1 is also long lasting. So price increase option is not available to you. Price increase option is not available. How can you increase the price to close the cost gap? Don't you remember the basics of target costing? Market based price, market based price, market research based price. Once the price what you have set is a market price, how can you increase it? No, not an option. Those who are saying this is an option are weak in concept, sorry to say. It's a market based price. Next, reduce the amount of ink supplied in the cartridge. Reduce the amount of ink supplied in the cartridge, which means if ink supply goes down, the cost will be saved. The current estimated cost goes down. Is it a viable option? This will affect the quality. You are not allowed to affect the quality. You are not allowed to hit the quality. Smart paper solving technique. First two are not the answers. First two are not the answers. If you are damn sure, then the next two are the answers, even if you don't read it. The next two are the answers, even if you don't read it. Your vigilancy in the paper is important. You should have a clear, open mind on that day. You can manage it. The next two are the answer. Bulk purchase discount will reduce your cost, will reduce your current estimated cost, will reduce your current estimated cost. Okay? Done? So this is the answer. Next, accept a lower profit margin being achieved on the cartridge. Now, I'm sure people here would be thinking, why accept a lower profit margin? Okay, I got it. But look at the other options available. You don't have any other option left, which is a viable option. Market price cannot be affected. You cannot change it. You cannot increase it. That's not in your hand. Market price came through market research. It's not who you will determine the market price. So you cannot play with it. Quality you cannot compromise. So by default, I am left with this one last option as one of the likely options. Accepting a lower margin is something which is in my hand. I may accept it. So I know you might be thinking, why? Fine. But in the absence of any other better option, I need to go with this one. And if it is a compromise on profitability, yes, it is a compromise. What I'm saying, go with the two best options. That's the game. Two best options. First one, not possible. Research-based market price, you cannot change it. Second one, cannot compromise on quality. The next two are acceptable. May accept a lower profit, yes. And obviously, bulk discount will reduce the cost. So go with the likely best options. I know you're not happy with profit margin compromise, but that's the only option in this question available to us. Done? Clear. Which of the following is not a characteristics of a service? Not a characteristics of a service. Therefore, a reason why PU company may find it difficult to apply target costing to its after sales service department, the service business, which is not a characteristic of service industry. Please, guys, remember my mnemonic: SHIP-T, simultaneity, heterogeneity, intangibility, perishability, and no transfer of ownership. First, intangibility of a service makes it difficult to define. Yes, this is the characteristics. This is not the answer. The production consumption of a service occurs simultaneously. Yes, simultaneity. This is also a genuine characteristic. Cannot be the answer. Services cannot be stored and used at a later stage is also a genuine characteristic. Perishability, simultaneity, intangibility. This is the answer. Quality and consistency of the service is homogeneous or heterogeneity is the problem. Heterogeneity means different services. Homogeneous means similar. No, there is a problem that there is no similar services. Services will be different. So homogeneous is not a characteristic and hence the answer. Done. Homogeneous is not the characteristic and is the answer. See, question 5 was easier. Question 4 was easier. Question 1 was easier. 3 questions you can do maybe in a span of how many minutes? 7 minutes? 8 minutes? Even if you take 8 minutes, you are left with 10 minutes for 2 remaining questions. And even if you leave those questions, listen, if you leave those questions, lack of time, if you did these 3 correctly, you got 6 marks out of 10 and you will pass in this question. Who says PM is difficult? I don't understand. You make it difficult. You need to understand the technique. Understood? Easy 3 OTs gave you 6 marks. The next 2, if you leave it, the next 2 if are wrong, still you pass in this question. Like this, if you pass every MTQ, you got 18 out of 30. Simple, simple, simple. Please try to understand, it is easier. Please don't fail in this paper. It is not worth it to get fail. Got it? Say yes or no. So this last one is also clear. Homogeneous means similar services. This is wrong. Services are always different. Now coming towards the one that I left. Okay, let's solve it. What is the maximum rate per gram of ink which PU can pay to avoid a cost gap for the Z1 cartridge? Which means I will try to reduce the cost of ink only. Ink only. Which means I need to find out the cost gap first. First, let's find out the cost gap. Okay? Let's first find out the cost gap for Z1. Remember the product name. Don't do a mishap. Focus should be on Z1 only. Okay? So let's work out. Cost gap. Let's find out. First of all, target cost for Z1. Z1 price is 110. 25% is the profit margin. Okay. So selling price 110, desired profit 25% margin. Okay, now what is 25% margin here? I don't know. Whatever it is, let's work out. $27.5. What is the target cost? 82.5. Okay. Current estimated cost. I can work out is simple. 10, 16.5 into 64, 1.5 into 20. Okay. So 10, 16.5 into 64 plus 1.5 into 20. So the figure is 88. Simple. Cost gap. 88 minus 82.5 means 5.5 is the cost gap. The question says avoid cost gap. Avoid cost gap means reduce cost by 5.5. Okay. Now, if the cost of ink, which is 32, will be reduced by 5.5, so what should be the ink cost then? Current ink cost 32, reduction in ink cost by 5.5 will bring this to 27.5. Revised ink cost. Okay, revised ink cost. 32 is the current ink cost. Sorry, 26.5. Okay, now simple guys, done. The question says you need to reduce the cost gap by 5.5. and it is the ink cost that you need to reduce only. Okay, so my current ink cost is 32 per unit, 0.5 grams into 64 per gram. So if I want to reduce by 5.5, so my ink cost should go to 26.5 per unit. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Yes. Okay. This means 26.5 is my ink cost, the revised ink cost, and how many grams do I use per unit? 0.5. So my revised cost should be 53 per gram. 53 per gram. Currently it is 64 per gram. It will go to 53 per gram. Hello everyone, come on, reply me please. Are you with me? Yes or no? Simple. So I will reduce the cost gap by 5.5, which means ink cost, which is 32 right now, will have to go to 26.5 per unit. And if the ink cost is 26.5 per unit, so because I use 0.5 grams in each unit, which means per gram should be 53. Should be 53, which means from 64, you will have to reduce it to 53. This is the maximum you should pay. Maximum you should pay per gram to achieve the cost gap. Khalas. Done. Now this might take time. This question might take time. This might take time. But the others you did earlier, you will cover here. That's the technique to complete within 18 minutes. Much less than that, in fact. Okay? So let me repeat this. The cost gap was 5.5. The only cost that I could reduce was ink. So I have to reduce the ink cost by 5.5 per unit. Currently per unit is 32. You can work out from here. 0.5 grams into 64 per gram. If I reduce it by 5.5 per unit, so this cost will come back to 26.5 per unit. This is per unit all right now. 0.5 grams I'm using in each unit, which means the cost now should be 53 per gram. 53 per gram. From 64, it should come to 53 per gram. And this is the maximum rate I should pay if I want to avoid the cost gap. If I want to avoid the cost gap. Done. I hope this is clear. The working is clear. And my friends, main thing was smart technique to learn. And what was that? Easy OTs first, so that you get 6 marks, you pass. Even if others do go wrong or you are not able to do it, still you will pass. And plus you can spend more time on the difficult ones. I hope this is clear to all of you. All right, guys, that's the end. Leave the other method, Rhea. Forget it. I'd used different one, so leave it. Both will give you the same answer. Guys, was day one useful for you? Yes or no? Confirm, please. Did you enjoy day one? Was it worth it in terms of smart techniques, answering, application, calculation, theory, OTs? Say any, please. Share your feedbacks. The more important thing is, it is easy to pass if you read the question. Okay? Happy? Need your feedbacks. In terms of emojis again, It was supposed to end in 3 hours. I took extra time to ensure that things are good for you. Okay. So that's it, guys. See you then tomorrow with more techniques, more smarter ways to pass. Be with me tomorrow and let's ace PM this time on 4th of March. Thank you. Bye.